Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Hi Zaid.
Hi Akash. How you?
How was your Monday?
It was how a Monday should be. When uh,
D
the WWDC event was exciting though.
yeah, yeah.
Just the
Monday
That was the only thing exciting on a Monday.
Monday was just Mondaying as a Monday should until we started WWDC.
Right.
So Zaid, in this podcast, as we have discussed, and everyone actually looking at the thumbnail, everyone knows that we are going to discuss about each and everything that was announced in the WWDC. So we'll start with one thing that I think Apple actually does very well. They actually made us believe that the entire crew of the Apple, they jumped out of a plane, skydived, then parachuted their way into the Apple campus, into that Apple spaceship campus. So, did you like that script?
Yeah, I think it was a different thing from all other scripts where they just stick to the topic.
Hmm.
But usually Apple does this really well, and they execute the skit really well, and the quality of that skit is way different than any other IO, all these events which we see.
Yeah,
But that's the thing that I get this nostalgia that in older days we actually had those, like in real time we got demos.
yeah,
In real
yeah,
time we used to also when Steve Jobs was around, we used to see him walk on the stage with the actual products
yeah,
and show the demo there.
yeah,
Those things had a different vibe altogether.
yeah,
But yeah, now the skits also which Apple are doing nowadays, and especially with the latest one, I think these are really entertaining. And last time also, I think they had done about this green thing, right? Go green thing.
yeah, yeah.
They had done a whole skit, a different skit where Earth,
M-
Mama,
Mother
Mother
Earth.
Earth had come here. So I mean, these all things are entertaining, and actually, the entire event makes sense more now. It is like a TV show basically,
Yeah, yeah.
more than just a keynote thing.
Yeah, but I actually miss those live presentations where each and everything was, demoed live. Each and every product feature and each and every thing was talked about live. I love these skits and I love these presentations that are streamed live, but they are pre-recorded. I understand that they have to advertise the video quality and the editing video quality of the iPhone and the editing quality of the Mac, and they have mentioned at the end of every keynote that every keynote that they shoot is being shot with an iPhone and that has been edited on a Mac. I literally miss those live presentations because that
And
is
things
what
used to
we.
go wrong also.
Yeah,
Things
exactly.
used to go wrong also. And that was actually more controversial and more entertaining to watch,
Yeah,
because a lot many times the demos used to not work on the actual keynote event,
Hmm.
and everyone was like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah. And I remember reading in Steve Jobs' biography when there was the first iPhone demo, which was taking place in 2007, January of 2007. So at that time, each and every department head like holding their breath when their app's demo was going on. And if it
Mm.
had failed, or if the demo or any part of the demo was getting jitters or getting jittery, at that time that specialist or that department head knew that they have lost their job basically. But everything in that first iPhone launch, everything went well, and all the people working at Apple who were backstage, though those people actually got a sigh of relief that everything went as planned and everything went well. So that was the excitement that everyone was having while during these live presentations. But now we don't
Yeah,
it
but I
have.
think they shifted it to this pre-recorded thing because nowadays everything is pre-recorded, like nothing is live.
Yeah,
Even most of the live events that we see are pre-planned at least.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
maybe not pre-recorded, but pre-planned. So I think having it pre-recorded makes it more aesthetic and more entertaining
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah,
audience.
that's there. But okay, so we'll start with the announcements that Apple made, and we'll go with the same order which Apple went. Okay, we'll go in the same order, and there are chapters mentioned in this video, so the viewers can directly skip to the part of their interest, be it VisionOS, macOS, tvOS, or anything. You know. Okay, so VisionOS. What do you think of VisionOS 2? basically VisionOS was launched just 6 months earlier. It was made available to public 6 months ago. Has just got its second iteration of its software. The VisionOS. We first had VisionOS 1, and now we have VisionOS 2. So the only thing that actually made me notice was that now while wearing VisionOS, this Vision Pro, Apple Vision Pro, we can scale up the max display, a particular max display. I have a Mac here, so I can just while wearing a Apple Vision Pro, I can scale up this display into a 50-inch ultra wide screen, and I can work there on that particular screen. So that was the only thing that I, you know, uh, remember. I actually, got me interested in. So
Yeah, but when are these vision devices coming to India? Because uh, all these iterative updates, I think when we will get it here, by that time things might have changed a lot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
all these iterative updates, I mean, okay, I mean, it will be interesting to see how people really use it in the US and wherever it is available. I think it's available only in the US, right? Not even in any other European.
It was available in US and Canada, and I think they have introduced it to many other countries also. This week they are going to introduce, like in Germany, in Australia, in UK, and many other places, but not in India. Anyway, in
Right,
India, no one will be able to afford because around $3,500. So that would roughly translate to, if we use Apple's logic of converting the prices, it will cost us around 3.5 lakhs.
right, yeah. But I think this is the future of like even like workspaces will have this Vision Pro only, right? Because
Yeah,
from there only it will be like your entire workspace setup will be there. You will be able to do rendering and do simulations and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and designing and all those things. All those applications will be using this only. So this is the future of it. But today I don't really care whatever updates they do on it because I can't use it, right? I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see it.
Yeah, and I mean, in India also there are only a few creators who got their hands on this Apple Vision Pro. The creators who are like the creme de la creme of the Indian tech industry, at least in the YouTube space. Only those people got their hands on it, and only those people got to experience it. Otherwise, it because it is not available in India as of now. So someday it will be, and at that time we'll definitely experience that.
Can't wait for it.
Yeah, can't wait. Okay, so next thing was the iOS 18. In iOS, we got a couple of changes. Actually, there was not entirely, but a somewhat design overhaul, I can say. Apple actually, while talking about this thing, they are talking about the spatial video and spatial audio. At that time, they actually hinted the change in the camera layout, which is going to be in the new iPhones, because we have seen the leaks, right? That the camera layout of the newer iPhones, the iPhone 16s, will be vertical. It will not be diagonal. It will be a vertical layout, that the cameras can capture spatial videos and spatial photos and spatial audios. I think they have hinted that because they were mentioning about the spatial video and the spatial photos thing. So at that time, they have mentioned that the cameras which are placed vertically on a Pro iPhone, only those cameras will be able to capture the spatial recording or the spatial videos. So I think that they have already leaked or already hinted at. We are able to place the icons anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, finally. The feature which Android, I think, had since its inception. I think since 2009, when the first Android device came out, I think this feature was there, inbuilt to it. Okay, but still Apple took their good amount of time, around 17 years, to put that one feature, and they introduced that feature like they have invented it. They actually did that. They were talking about that feature, that this is the
Apple being
yeah,
Apple.
yeah, this is the first time that anyone on this planet is seeing this feature, and they have introduced it to the mankind.
And the next thing also I think they've done is like we can change the color of all the
Yeah,
icons on it
yeah,
to match your whatever wallpaper, right? We can change it to any color we want.
yeah.
And this has been again in the Android space for a really long time. So these customizations sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I just really want to see how Apple has implemented it. And when we have the hands on, we'll be able to see that. Because like I use a Samsung phone and I have access to like all loads of customizations
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Many themes are there, many icon packs are there, everything is there. But these customizations, I mean, sometimes they look really cheap. Sometimes they don't match with your vibe, or sometimes they don't, get that focus, whatever you're going for.
yeah, yeah,
So all these customizations don't really work where, or even if you have them, you don't really feel like using them. So I really want to see whatever customizations Apple is putting. Perhaps their implementation would be the Apple way, as it always has
yeah.
been, and even simple things might even simple things might prove out to be better things for the consumer.
Yeah, and whenever Apple introduces a feature which was already there in the Android space or in the competitor space, Apple does it perfectly, and they do it in their own way, right? So I'm pretty sure, because I was really excited when I saw the dark mode of the app icons.
It would be like a stealth mode,
Yeah,
entirely on the because it sometimes does not match with the dark mode, right? It
yeah,
seems a bit vague. Now with the icons, I think it will look really cool.
yeah, yeah. And they have redesigned the control center as well. We will be able to, add even third-party control center functionalities into the control center, which was not possible till now. And one of the most,
It was also long due, right? Because in Android space, when we pull down the navigation bar, we have so many quick panel
yeah,
controls there,
yeah,
like so many that we can even add by ourselves. So it was long due that even Apple implemented something like this with the control center. Now we can have multiple pages also on
yeah,
it, right?
yeah,
So we can have a lot of stuff that can control right from the control center.
yeah.
We don't need to go inside a settings app for that because a lot of things were housed in the settings app
Hmm.
only, nowhere else.
Yeah. Correct. And one of the most not respected, requested feature now the iPhones get is to lock an app, any app. Previously, it was only WhatsApp, and I think Google Drive used to get the Face ID recognition and locking an app and everything. But now we can get it natively for each and every app. You can lock any app you want. You can hide any app you want. You There are customizable shortcuts, and the dark mode, as we have already discussed. And
And the buttons also, the torch and the camera button on the lock
yes,
screen,
yes, yes,
that is also customizable now. You can have it to any other application that you want,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that is I think really needed because most of us don't really always need a torch there. We can put something else that we might need it as a quick access thing.
yeah. That is the exact thing that I have mentioned when we were having this Apple event back in September of last year, when these iPhone 15 Pros were getting introduced, and we got the action button for customization. They killed off the mute switch, and we got the action button, for
Hmm.
customization. So at that time, I had tweeted the exact same thing, that no matter how many customizations option you give for this action button, we just want to customize this home screen, these two icons, the torch and the camera icons, and now they have got it right.
I think that is one of the quickest ways to launch the camera, and even though they have the action button now, but most of the old iPhone users, they are used to that button
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
lock screen, or just swipe left, right? To swipe left from the lock screen, you get the camera.
yeah, yeah,
But those buttons are really essential, I feel, because those are more ways of quick access to your daily apps which you use most of the times.
yeah,
So otherwise, for most of the apps, you have to just go inside. The torch is mostly wasted most of the times, hardly ever use it. So I think that is something that was long due when they have done this stuff.
yeah. And iPhone, I'm not not for the iPhone, but for Apple devices, Apple actually have subtly mentioned, they haven't accepted it completely, but they have even put it in the summary tile thing for their new iOS, that new iOS will get the RCS messaging support. Now, what it means is, not everyone must be knowing what RCS is, so I'll explain in short. RCS functionality is actually the thing with which we can use iMessages and send and receive iMessages on an Android device also. So that green bubble and blue bubble thing, will now be gone. Yeah, if an Android device is using an RCS messaging system, then their bubbles will be green. That won't change, but at least they will be, one step into the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah, because up until now, iMessage was hardly like used by most people because even if you're an iPhone user, you might have many friends who are Android users.
Yeah, yeah,
So you have to communicate with them via WhatsApp only mostly if you want all those stickers and all those
yes,
features to communicate like that. So using iMessage was not really an option, but slowly Apple is trying to connect this with all the Android messaging apps.
yeah, yeah.
So it's good to have that now you can use iMessage and you can communicate with your Android friends as well.
Yeah, I think even me, the only person with whom I use iMessages is my wife, and with everyone else, I just use WhatsApp for communicating.
Right.
But yeah, this will enable people who are aspiring to use iMessages and to all use at least a few features which will be available on iMessages. So that will be a welcome feature for the Android users as well.
Right.
Okay, so next up we'll take tvOS. Not many people, must be using tvOS or Apple TV for that matter. But in their presentation, I think only one thing that caught my eye was while playing a movie or something. Uh, if we just swipe down or from the remote, it will give us the actors, their character name in that movie, and if there is a song playing, we can get the details of the song, and we can add that song into our Apple Music library from that instant directly. So and that feature is called Insight. Okay. So Insight is just an Amazon Prime Video's X-ray feature,
Exactly.
but better. But better because it is integrated into Apple's ecosystem.
Yeah,
This
and
is the
by this time, I think it was something. It has something like it is basic now.
yeah,
So I mean, it's not like a groundbreaking feature. I mean, this should have been because if Netflix does it, I would have appreciated. But Prime Video has been doing this since a long
yeah, yeah.
time. So yeah, I mean, they're trying to just connect your Apple TV Plus with your entire ecosystem.
Yes.
So slowly they're trying to do that. But this is a very basic feature which I think should have added long back ago. But finally, we have it.
Yeah, and it will be a useful feature because many a times whenever we are watching a movie or whenever we are watching a show and a song comes up or a song plays into the background, and we start trying to search for that song by going to IMDb, check out the songs listed, and or to the end credits of the movie so that we can check the songs used in that one particular movie. So this will be a beneficial feature for the tvOS users or the Apple TV users.
Right, but this will go to iTunes only, right? So you have to be an iTunes subscriber for that.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to
You
be
can't use Amazon Music. You can't you if you're just using Spotify, then that will not work.
no.
So
At
you have to be an iTunes
at least you will get the name
subscriber.
of the songs. If you are using any other app you apart from Apple Music, you at least you will get the name of the song. You can search for that later in your other apps or other devices.
Right. I think slowly they would add other app support as
Yeah,
well. I think so.
yeah,
Because slowly, Apple is moving in that direction where they're trying to be a bit open now.
yeah,
Because I think they saw that being so closed and restricted was not doing much for them. So slowly, by these OS updates, we are seeing that they are trying to move in the direction of Android. Of course, they're trying to keep their security constraints well,
yeah.
not trying to overpass them or oversee them, but moving in that direction as well. So they might add other app support also. I think I would bet on this. Like at least in a year or two, they would get at least Spotify on that list.
Yeah,
I
they
think
should
so.
at least get Spotify because if
Mm,
not Apple Music, then many other people use Spotify,
mm,
even while
exactly.
using iPhones. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next OS that they talked about was WatchOS 11. So just for the record and fun fact, uh, Apple Watch SE, the first generation SE, which I am using, it has gone out of support and it won't be supporting WatchOS 11 now. So my watch has got gone out of support.
So Apple is doing this now because
Yeah,
till now there was hardly any device that used to go out of support like this, like not supporting any latest versions. So they used to come, but it was like years and years later. But nowadays, you're not getting that one. I think at least 1 or 2 years more you should have gotten. But
Yeah.
with these new features, I think they won't work well with your SE. I think so.
But see, my concern is if iOS 18 is being supported from iPhone 10s Max, 10s and 10x Max, 10s Max, but iPhone 10R, which came with 10s and 10s Max, okay, that iPhone is already supported, and those iPhones came in I think 2019. Okay, so 2019 iPhones are still getting support for the latest iOS. Okay, but the watch, Apple Watch Series 5 and Apple Watch Series 5 came in 2019. It is not supported. The Apple Watch Series 5's SoC, the S5 chip, it is in the Apple Watch SE first generation. These are not supported. So basically, they are supporting hardware from 2019 for the iPhones, but not for the hardware which came in 2019 with respect to these Apple Watches.
Yeah, because Apple actually usually has a lot of dependency on hardware. So even simple things like night mode, when they introduced, it was supported only on that chipset and going forward. Like
Yeah.
night mode is such a basic thing. In the Android space, they just put it everything there, whatever hardware is there,
Yeah.
whether it supports or not. Like it will not behave well, that is fine for them because though I mean nobody owns it really.
Yeah,
So
at least you will
but
get
on
the
the
support and at least you will get these features.
exactly. Exactly. But Apple has a lot of hardware limitations because they have a lot of coupling there with the hardware and software
Yeah.
because they make their own hardware there. So I think that's why slowly all these new features might not be supported in the older devices now.
Yeah, man, but still, I felt bad after, knowing this. I got this Apple Watch in 2020, so it's been a good 3.5 years.
So you need to upgrade now.
I
That's what Apple
don't-
is trying to tell you.
Okay, Apple, I'll try to listen to you if my wife listens to me. Yeah, so in Apple Watch, sorry, in Apple Watch, the WatchOS 11, we are getting uh, there is a app called Fitness app. Okay, which once we start using an Apple Watch, we'll get that fitness app installed on our iPhones also, and we can check the activity rings or move ring or standing hours and everything. So that app is getting one new feature called rest days.
Mm,
Okay, so and what that what that app does is basically at that app encourages you to close your rings, all the rings. The one is the pink one is the move ring, the green one is the exercise ring, and the blue ring is like the standing ring, standing hours ring.
standing up.
So that app is just for encouraging people to close those rings. I mean that means to exercise, to go out for a walk, to go out for a run, or exercise in the gym, swim, whatever. So that app is going to get a new feature called rest days, where you can take a rest day, inform your watch in that app that you are taking a rest day, so that your progress or your streak of closing the rings for the X number of days, that won't get hindered, off
Wow,
days
I
or
wish
something.
I wish we had that in older times.
Yeah.
When I used to actually use the Apple rings, when I actually used to follow those rings and those goals.
Hmm.
Some days I needed rest days, but it does not used to complete and it used to show me that chart that you did not perform well
And
today.
your streak is broken.
Exactly.
And one more thing that they have added one training app for athletes or the people who exercise regularly, so that they can train themselves using the intensity, whatever intensity that they have mentioned in that training app. Just these two changes I have felt that they are major changes. Otherwise, everything will remain the same. That's why I actually, coming back to the point number one, actually I think that why this first generation SE is not supported, because there are two changes in WatchOS 11. It is not that we are getting a complete overhaul of the things or of the UI of the software, nothing like that. There are just two major changes, and even Apple, I think, spent just I think 15 or 20 minutes talking about these features. At least this WatchOS 11 should have gotten to a SE first generation and Series 5, but sadly it isn't.
And I think the this AirPods also got this nod feature,
Yeah,
right? When you
yeah.
can just nod and accept or interact with whatever call or anything you're getting, you can receive the call.
Yeah, but Apple what didn't mention was that feature will be only on AirPods Pro second generation, not the first
Second
generation
generation.
and not the the regular AirPods. Those won't get this feature. Just the AirPods Pro second generation. Just those will get this feature, and many people are going to disconnect the call accidentally or accept the call accidentally while just nodding their head sideways or up and down.
I think these all things will take practice
Hmm.
with the consumers.
So moving ahead, we got the iPad OS. Just I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, we talked about the M4 iPad and the iPad Airs and the iPad Pros, right? And what we were expecting that, at least I was expecting that Apple at least put a dual boot mode with some limited functionality of Mac OS in those iPads, but they didn't even care of putting some at least limited feature of macOS. They just put all the features that were listed down for iOS into iPadOS, that is customizability, uh,
Hmm.
dark mode for apps, RCS support, control center, lock and app, everything. There is just one big change which people have been waiting for 14 years. And what's that? Tell me.
The calculator app.
Yay!
Yay.
We finally got.
2 minute silence.
Yeah. We finally got a calculator app on the iPad.
And it looks same. This, I mean, it looks exactly like the app on the iPhones
Yeah,
basically, right?
yeah.
Nothing different than that.
It has a utility. It will show you your
Wow.
history, which was basically missing till iOS 17. Okay, till
The
iOS and
best in
iPadOS
class
17.
calculator app.
And I remember when MKBHD asked one of the Apple executives in an interview that why don't they have a calculator app on their iPads. They said that they want to do it right. They want to make the maximum amount of usage of that huge iPad screen. So what they did was they put a feature called Math Notes in that calculator app, where you can actually draw. You can actually, by using your Apple Pencil, you can draw equations, and as soon as we put an equal to sign in that equation, it will an answer will pop up magically in its place. You can also use variables. They have showed an example, like if you are drawing a diagram of a person playing table tennis, and if we are changing the velocity, the angle and the speed and everything, it will give us each and every answer. It will just do the math magically.
Right, and we can also create graphs also, and
Yes.
you don't need to do that like manually. You just need to enter those numbers and give that y equal to that equation, and
Yeah.
it will create the graph for you, which makes a lot of sense. And this is a very like cool feature which Apple has put.
Yeah.
This is something out of the box and not any other company has done till
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But still, this does not justify holding on the calculator for so long. I mean, at least they could have given us the calculator long ago, and then this smart script feature, whatever this feature is there, they could have done it now. But yeah, it is what it is. But it's a very cool feature. I think it has a lot of
Seriously.
productivity use in a lot of businesses also. Even if you don't have like that professional use, uh, still a lot of things you can do with this also. Like you don't need to enter numbers and do calculation on the calculator app also. You can just write down the list of whatever figures you have or
Yeah.
whatever things you are trying to achieve. You can write the figures and you can make it calculate like just like how an Excel works.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can make it do that, but even more, you can create graphs so easily on that. So that is something that really I found more interesting.
Yeah. So that's what they did when they meant that they want to the actual potential of that huge screen of iPads. But still, as you have said, if not earlier, at least in iPadOS 17, they should have given us the calculator app. And now with iPadOS 18, they should have added this math notes and smart script and each and everything. Okay, so iPadOS basically, to summarize each and everything, we just got all the features from the from the iOS 18, and just one big feature and one big announcement that we have got a calculator app. and math notes, smart script, and each and everything. And I think I saw a tweet from MKBHD. He stated that when in that Apple campus, when that presentation was being played, and as soon as they mentioned a calculator app for iPad, for all the iPads, there was a huge cheer in the crowd, among the crowd. There was a huge cheer, and people were like hooting and everything for this calculator app. It has finally arrived after 14 years. It has finally arrived on the iPad.
This only happens in Apple land.
Yeah.
Again, Samsung will make ads, making jokes out of.
Yeah, seriously, seriously. Um, so next up we have macOS, and this time they have named their macOS Sequoia. That is, a tricky spelling or a tricky thing to say, at least for Indians, but it is called macOS Sequoia. And there are not many features that we need to talk about, right? There are just two features that I found interesting. One is that iPhone mirroring is now on the macOS. That and even I'm not sure from which model this iPhone mirroring will support. Okay, if you have an older model, then I'll have to check. I'll put the corrected thing in the screenshot here. So iPhone
Right, yeah,
mirroring,
but the Mac which you have should be M1 and above,
yeah, M1 and above.
because otherwise it won't support that OS at all.
Yeah, yeah. So iPhone mirroring, it's there. Okay, and they have they have introduced a new feature which was there in Windows for, since very long. Okay, so we can reshape all the windows, and we can use multiple apps on a same desktop window. So now they are calling it that feature tiles, but that feature was there since the start on Windows laptops, or on Windows operating system. But now they have as Apple has introduced it to on Mac OS, so they are going to call it this tiles application. These are just two
They could
things.
have given some Apple branding to it.
Yeah,
Because Tiles is the same thing used in Windows world as well.
yeah. Is
So
it? Is it?
it is, yeah. You get the option when you press on the taskbar. You get the option, have tiles vertically or horizontally.
Okay.
So they call it tiles only. So I think they should have at least rebranded it.
And in the next update, they'll call it smart tiles.
Apple tiles.
Yeah, Apple tiles. And the last thing that they discussed, the last thing, and mind you, till this point, there was no mention of AI, and each and everyone was thinking that Apple will start the presentation with the AI, and it will end the presentation with AI. But till this point, when macOS or macOS was announced, and until the macOS announcement was finished, they hadn't used the AI word even once. But now comes the interesting part. Apple has announced their AI, and AI for normal people, it meant artificial intelligence. But now, as it is AI which will be inbuilt in Apple devices, Apple is calling it Apple Intelligence. That's AI
At
for
least,
them.
at least they did do a name like Dynamic Island or something. At least Apple Intelligence makes sense.
So to summarize all the features that Apple Intelligence have, it will be supported across all devices. It will be supported on your iPhones, your iPads, and your Macs. I'm not sure about the Apple Watch, but I don't think Apple Watch will be supporting that anytime soon. Siri has gotten better. Apple has made a partnership with ChatGPT, and whatever AI designing and AI, whatever, if we want to summarize summarize an essay, or if we want to summarize a paragraph, it will do it for us. And if required, and all this processing will be done on device. Okay, but if required, Siri will ask you if it is not able to process your request, and if you are okay, if you the user is okay for Siri to go to Chat GPT server and fetch the answer from there, and it will ask you every time. Okay, so this is one good thing that we've got. They have basically implemented ChatGPT locally on all the devices. Okay, along with this OS. Okay.
Right. But for ChatGPT, I think it goes onto the internet and tries to process that on those servers,
Yes. Yes.
because that is not possible on device, at least as of now. So this is one thing, and I think so. Like all these top tier companies are rebranding AI, because usually mid range smartphones and all those even laptops, they just
Hmm.
call it AI. But like even Samsung did it, they called it AI, and then they said this was advanced intelligence, not artificial intelligence.
Okay. Okay.
So the same way now Apple is doing, like they call it Apple intelligence. It's not like artificial intelligence; it's Apple intelligence. Their view of what AI should be basically.
Yeah.
So that thing they have done, and also one more thing I would like to, I mean, just see when this actually comes out to the consumers, is because see, advanced intelligence features what Samsung is using, I they have like not like clearly mentioned, but sidebars of their website, you can see that after 2025 it may not be free. Most features might not be
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
for many people. So I also want to see, like, because Apple, that most of the things on the App Store also what we have, we need to pay for it. Most of the things are not free.
Yeah.
You have a subscription or you have one-time payment option for that. So I think so. Even this thing, what Apple Intelligence they have introducing, perhaps we need to see like 1 or 2 years down the line. Maybe they might start if they want to use more and more servers from ChatGPT
Yeah.
or OpenAI. The company's name is OpenAI basically. So if they want to use more and more advanced feature from there, they may start charging the consumers for it. So that is something that we need to see.
Yeah. ChatGPT and OpenAI, it's a company, and no company, will do charity unless and until it is benefiting something or the other. It won't be, supported, or it won't be, give away its features to any of the companies for free. So as Apple is saying that chat access to ChatGPT is all free for all the Apple users. But till when? Okay. And if ChatGPT access is free for all the users, is Apple paying all the money to ChatGPT or to OpenAI? Is Apple paying all the
Mm.
money?
And that might also be a contract.
Yeah.
So we don't, there is no clarity by till when it is there, and even if they have the plans to extend.
Yeah, and if Apple is paying all the money for all the iPhone users who are going to use this Apple Intelligence feature, then will there be a monthly or a daily limit of number of questions we can ask to ChatGPT?
Mm. Right.
Okay. Or is ChatGPT looking at this opportunity like they can, train their learning models and their program models or their machines, into what kind of questions people are asking, especially iPhone users are asking.
Yeah, but still, they won't get more information, because I think I just saw MKBHD's video,
Hmm.
and he just mentioned that in that Apple is keeping the security aspect here intact, because
Yeah.
they don't want to lose out on that. So if even if you're asking ChatGPT, it does not disclose the IP address, and it does not disclose the iPhone, that serial
Yeah.
number or
Yeah.
anything there. So even if OpenAI wants to use this information, they won't have the demographic information basically, like which part of the iPhone users are using what
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who are asking what. They won't know this. So until now, it is not clear what OpenAI is benefiting from this partnership.
Yes, and Apple has claimed in the same presentation that our data, whichever data we use to process for these Apple Intelligence requests, those data will not be stored anywhere, neither on the device nor on the Apple servers, and nor on the OpenAI servers. These data, this data or any of the data whichever we send to ChatGPT, it won't be stored. Okay, so this is a huge claim that Apple is making, but I'm very skeptical about it, because OpenAI, without their vested interest, they won't be letting anyone or any company for that matter access their servers for or access their ChatGPT for free. But it is free here in iPhones, but it is free here in all the Apple devices. So there must be
Yeah,
some
I
hidden
don't know
thing.
how even machine learning will work into this, because like if this is just on device, then machine learning in that will be for that specific consumer or for that specific iPhone owner only, right?
Yeah.
Because like see how Google Photos used to work in the past. I think till today it works the same way. It does not work only on a specific person. So if you're taking a picture from a Google Pixel phone, and you use Google Photos. So what it does, it is actually looks at all the photos in its entire server database and tries to learn how to process images.
Correct.
So that is why the Google image processing is so advanced, because it has learned from the images of so many consumers out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it does not disclose any algorithm here and there, but it learns from that because it has access to all that information, right? So it learns all of that there, and to your newer photos, it applies that specific there. So you get so like you feel like, wow, this processing is done so well, like it understands all the scenery so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how does it understand? Because it has looked at other sceneries or other landscapes, in other photos. So this is something that how like this machine learning would work for like how machine learning work for Google, but it does not clearly state how it will work for Apple Intelligence basically, because
Okay.
it won't have access to all of this, right?
Yeah. But
So we really don't know how they're going to manage all this.
anyway, in terms of Google, if we see that the sample size Google AI is getting Gemini, basically it is called Gemini. So the sample size it is Gemini is getting is very huge, because anyway all the photos are stored on the Google Photos app, and that is stored on the cloud. So even if Gemini is not learning the details of the photos, okay, like this photo has come from which user, or from which place it has been taken, or from which account it has been uploaded, but it will still just look at the picture, learn from it, and then move ahead to the next picture. Okay, it will still have the sample size, but here in this Apple ecosystem, the Apple Intelligence won't be having this much sample size, right? As you have said.
Right.
So
Hmm.
it will be very interesting for us to see how well the Apple machine learnings work.
Right, and this is just the Gen 1, I think. So,
Yeah.
next year in the newer devices, something more will be added, and that would be, I think, uh, the next generation in this Apple Intelligence would be something more interesting. Like many AI features would be there, like this math thing that you mentioned, right? So,
Yeah.
this is also part of AI, basically, how they are doing it. So, we'll need to see, like, until next year, what improvements they make to this.
There is one more thing. While speaking about Apple Intelligence, Apple actually missed out, or deliberately or by accident, I am not sure, but they missed out on one detail, which we can see on their website. So if any one of us wants to use Apple Intelligence after upgrading our software, which will be available this fall, okay, if any of us wants to use those features, the minimum RAM requirement, okay, for all the devices will be at least 8 GB. So it will work on all the Macs starting from M1 Air, okay, to till M4 iPad Pros. It will work throughout all the devices, be it M1 iPad Air, or it will require basically the M series chips, okay. But in the iPhones, because iPhones don't have the M series chips, so in iPhones you at least need to have 8 GB of RAM. Okay, so in other terms, you at least need to have an iPhone 15 Pro to access all these Apple Intelligence features.
Yeah, because up until now, even the Pro devices like had only even like previously they had only 4 GB RAM, then
6
they switched
GB,
to
yeah.
6 GB, and now finally they went to 8 because they never needed it basically.
Yeah.
But now they realize that for this one, it is the basic bare minimum that they need to have.
But see, isn't that unfair for all the people who have bought their devices, since in the last 2 or 3 months? I know one of my friends have bought an iPhone 15 just 2 or 3 months ago, and after upgrading to iOS 18, she won't be able to use the Apple Intelligence features, which Apple actually advertised and talked about it for the longest amount of time in their presentation. So the marquee feature, other people I'm not talking about me. I'm already using 3-year-old phone, so I'm not talking about myself. But the people who have got iPhone 15, the 15 series, be it 15 or 15 plus. 15 has 6 GBs of RAM, so does 15 plus. So I am actually feeling bad for those people who won't be able to use even after buying, even after spending around 70, 80,000 rupees, and they just have got the latest phone. They won't be able to use the marquee feature from Apple presentation.
Right. I think this is just one of the approaches that they're taking to promote people to go for the pro phones
Yeah,
from now onwards, because many people just realize that the regular series of 15, 15 plus are more than enough for them. But putting such features now only in the like 15 Pro and onwards, that what they're saying, people will like be tempted to upgrade again, because otherwise people like, even you're using 13, right?
yeah,
The phone is still good. It does everything that you want to do. You might not even think of upgrading. But putting such features will be available, which will be available only in the latest phones, especially these AI features,
yeah,
which are now the thing for everyone. Like it is the basic thing. Like even in the Android space, people are talking about it. Just AI is just everywhere now.
correct.
So for such features, like if you would be tempted to still upgrade to a pro device from now onwards. So I think that is just one of the steps, they're taking to promote their pro devices.
Yeah, and that is also a hint that the upcoming iPhone 16 series, the regular ones, the 16 and the 16 plus, those will also get at least 8 GB RAM, and the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max will get at least 10 or 12 GB RAM,
Right.
because they need to
But
be
I
better.
don't think so in the regular ones they will put that 8 gigs of RAM, because that is something that still separates from the pros. These are some of the features that they might not even touch in the regular ones basically. So we'll have to wait and see how they.
But this Apple Intelligence needs to support the newer iPhones, right? Be it 16 or 16 plus, they
Right. Yeah.
ethically.
Because even if you see even Samsung, in the smallest Samsung Galaxy S24,
Hmm.
even what they did now, I use a S22 Ultra, which is a 2-year-old device. This Galaxy AI,
Yeah,
I have gotten the update, and I also have access to all those AI features now. Not all of them work that well, but I can still use them.
at least a
All the
few,
text
at least a
summary,
few.
all the yeah, at least a few. So even in my older 2 years older device, I have gotten the Galaxy AI, which is now newly introduced. So I don't need to buy the latest device to access Galaxy AI.
Yeah, yeah,
So that is something which Apple should have done, as you rightly mentioned. But as of now, they are not doing it. So it would be really interesting to see, at least if in the 16 regular series they put some AI features.
yeah, yeah. They should. They should. This will be, not. I'm not talking about the business sense, but it will be ethically wrong if they don't, put these AI features, or at least give 8 GB of RAM in their newer 16 and 16 plus. 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max will anyway have all those features.
Anyways.
But
Hmm.
16 and 16 plus, if they won't give this features in those latest phones, then I'll be very, heartbroken. Okay, so that's it for this video. I think we have discussed enough, and we have complained to Apple enough number of times, and we have, we asked Apple to do some features in a certain way, but they anyway won't listen to us. They anyway don't listen to the consumers. On the contrary, unlike the other companies do. It's fine, but still.
But that's our job to talk about it, even though we know they won't listen.
To at least put the words into the universe, so that someday that those whispers will go into Tim Cook's ears, and he will listen to us.
And then he will retire.
Yeah, someday he might retire, and at that time our thoughts will go to him.
Thank you all for watching.
Okay, thank you. And if you like this video, consider subscribing, and like and comment what all things you want to see we are, both of us talking about. Just let us know, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.